We want to thank you all for being with us here this evening. And what a great crowd. Give yourselves applause coming out tonight. Tonight is also the official kickoff for the Martin Luther King State Commission. But I think we're very much a part of that official kickoff, don't you, being here on this occasion? Of course, we did pick our date 6 months ago, but that's neither here nor there. If you are a speaker in our program tonight, we just ask that you please move when it's getting close to your time so that we can keep the program going. It's going to be a bit of a non-traditional program tonight, not your typical awards program. So we hope that you enjoy the show. Sit back, relax. We think it's going to be informative. A lot of what we want to accomplish tonight is furthering the effort to network in our community and build coalition. So we really want you to get to know the people that are on stage, get to like them, and find opportunities to work with them in the future. So thank you very much for being here. My name is Philip Deitch. I'm one of the founders of Jews United for Justice, referred to simply as JUJ, and I will be one of your co-hosts for this evening with my good friend, Jesse Swanigan.
Good evening. I'm Jesse C. Swanigan, and I am your other co-host for tonight. Philip and I have had the chance to work together as facilitators for several mixed-race dialogue groups here in St. Louis. One that was started by the St. Louis Jewish Community Relations Council, which is where I first met Sister Ebo, who is a member of our group. And we're also co-facilitators for the now 15-year-old joint venture between Philip's congregation, Central Reform Congregation, and my congregation, Co-Brilliant Presbyterian Church. The individuals that we are celebrating tonight, Sister Ebo and Rabbi Lipnick, are inspirations to all of us. They embody our message this evening that everyone has the responsibility to at least try and make a positive difference in our community, and that by stepping forward, as our honorees have done, you never know what impact you might have. We now introduce you to the chair of JUJ, the organization which conceived and organized this event this evening. She's a force for justice in our region. I'm pleased to share with you that she and her husband, Brett Gilliam, are the new proud parents of their third child and their first daughter, Leela Hope, who was born November the 18th, 2005. Let's give them a hand. And November the 18th is also my birthday, but that was a long, long time ago. It is my pleasure to ask Rabbi Andrea Goldstein of Sharon congregation to offer you greetings this evening.
Good evening, everyone. It is my true pleasure and honor to welcome so many of you here this evening. This is JUJ's second annual Rabbi Heschel Dr. King celebration, and JUJ has decided as an organization that every year in the month of January, we will have a celebration of these two individuals who worked so tirelessly for justice and equality, and who embody the goals and the missions that JUJ has today. Many, many, many people worked tirelessly to pull this event together tonight, and I know that all of them will be thanked appropriately, and I can't be the one to do it because I was busy having a baby, as was just mentioned, when much of this was being pulled together. But I do want to just for a moment acknowledge Philip, because much of what you are seeing is really his vision for what this evening should be. So we thank you very, very much. Jews United for Justice was formed approximately 6 years ago as an organization dedicated solely to furthering the goals of social, economic, and racial justice here in St. Louis. We strive to work in partnership with other community-based organizations, and we see ourselves as a Jewish voice in the progressive community and a progressive voice in the Jewish community. And what that really means is that we are a group of people who come together because in our hearts, we are seeking the truth and seeking to be with other people who are willing to speak the truth. We are seeking peace and justice, and we believe more than anything that the goodness in each human being has the potential to rise above any harshness, any evil, anything that is wrong, unjust, unfair in this world. And we want to celebrate that goodness. We want to come together and work together to bring about a better world that we know can be. So we now have you all as a part of us, and we hope that we will continue to be able to come together to celebrate an event such like this and to work together, really work together for the cause of justice. Thank you again for being here tonight. Have a wonderful evening.
It is now my pleasure to introduce to you Sharon Cooney Smith. Sharon is a member of the Archdiocese of St. Louis Committee for the National Black Catholic Congress. She works as a union representative for federal employees, is the mother of 2 wonderful sons. She's an active member, and I can't even begin to tell you how active, of the St. Alphonsus Liguori Parish, and she has been a very dear friend and an especially trusted friend of Sister Ebo, who I know has been looking forward to her being a part of this evening's program. Please offer us your greetings this evening.
Thank you. Well, he told you all about me, so what do I have left to say? So I'm very pleased to be here this evening. I was thrilled when Sister asked me to speak forward tonight. I was just honored. And so she's always speaking of telling the true truth. And so, amen, I'm going to tell the true truth. Even though we are in this secular setting this evening, I am going to ask that we give thanks to God. God, the God of Abraham, amen. God, the God of Isaiah. God, the God of Jeremiah. The God of us all, the God of Ruth. That we give thanks to that God tonight, because he has brought us together in this place for this occasion. At this time, he has truly blessed us with these 2 individuals because God sent them on their way. He missioned them to do that which they did over 40 years ago, and that was to stand up for truth, justice, and equality. It would have been so easy for both of them to turn their backs on everything that was going around and burrow into their own little niche in the world. And they said no. God tapped them on the shoulder and said, go forward. And if you know Sister Ebo like I know her, she said, I'm going to do what the Spirit says do. Amen? And so I'm not a singer, but she said, I'm doing what the Spirit says do. And I don't know the rabbi, but I know he listened to that same God. Amen. And that same Spirit. And so whether we are Catholic or Protestant or Jew, we come together this evening to honor 2 children of God. Amen. And it is our responsibility to recognize that they are truly both anointed and appointed. And so we thank God tonight. In this setting, in this place, we thank him for the rabbi, and we thank him for Sister Ebo. And I greet you in the name of that God and our Father. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
We would now like to ask the escorts to come forward. These are our young adults to bring our guest of honor to the stage. Our escort would be Omega Harrington. Emma Kenyon is also present, but we're asking Omega Harrington to escort our two honorees to the stage. While they are coming to the stage, just a little information in regard to Emma Kenyon and Omega Harrington, who were our escorts for this evening. 6 years ago, when at age 6 and 7, they were the youngest participants of Freedom Ride 99, the event which reunited Sister Ebo and Rabbi Lipnick. It was a gathering of youth and adults from across the country who traveled to the murder site of Cheney, Goodwin, and Swerner to call upon the state of Mississippi to finally bring murder charges, which the state did, resulting in a conviction this past June, 30 years to the day after the murders. Emma and Omega's mothers, Marie Kenyon and Gwen Krim, are of course with us tonight, and were also a part of that bus trip, which Gwen being one of our coordinators for this event. You are to be congratulated on raising such socially aware young ladies. Could Marie Kenyon and Gwen Krim stand? The mothers.
Sister Ebo tells a wonderful story that I'm going to have to shorten a lot about how she received the key to the city of Selma from the same mayor who was still in office 20 years later, who had blocked them some 30 years earlier. She found out when she met him that the mayor did not believe that she had been a nun. She assured him that, in fact, she was a nun back in March 1965, and she was still a nun as she stood in front of him in his office. He then reached into his desk and he gave her a small plastic key which said Selma on it, attached to a little key ring. You could picture her holding it up and looking at it, can't you? He beamed, calling it the key to the city. She asked him about that brass key that she noticed, big one, sitting on the corner of his desk that said Selma on it. And he told her that that was the ceremonial key given to celebrities. Realizing what he had just said with her help, he was quickly embarrassed into giving her one of those brass keys. So Jesse and I, to get the evening moving a little long, that's our role tonight, keep the evening long, would like to ask Rabbi Lipnick and Sister Ebo to stand while we present to you, on behalf of everyone here who loves you and admires you both, the keys to our heart. You're in trouble. Come on.
This event has been organized to help increase the spirit of cooperation and coalition building in our St. Louis region. This concept of working together is part of the basis for how JUJ has organized itself. David Landers is an attorney at Thompson Coburn and an associate professor at St. Louis University's Law School. He's also the founder and Chair-Emeritus of JUJ, which honored him last year as the first Heschel King celebration. He has an extensive lifelong record dedicated to social justice. It's a pleasure now to ask him to share with us more on the philosophy and efforts of JUJ. Mr. David Landers.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tonight, we commemorate the lives of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, and we celebrate their remarkable partnership. Each became a moral beacon and a community leader, and each was inspired and energized by his faith in God. Dr. King and Rabbi Heschel worked together tirelessly to improve the lives of disadvantaged people. In the reflection of these two inspirational leaders, and in the shadow of their partnership, we gather tonight to honor Sister Ebo and Rabbi Lipnick, who formed their own remarkable spiritual partnership. As Rabbi Goldstein indicated, Jews United for Justice was formed to fight against injustice, whether on the basis of race, class, or economics. JUJ serves as a progressive force in the Jewish community and a Jewish presence in the progressive community. One of the central focuses of JUJ was to work in partnership with other organizations engaged in these struggles. When JUJ began, we consulted with leaders of the African American community to explain who we hoped to be and to listen to their ideas of where we needed to aim our efforts. Just to name a few of the people we met with were Percy Green, Ron Jackson, and Rudy Nickens. And they and others have influenced and continue to influence the work that JUJ does. On the basis of these conversations and our own study, JUJ began with efforts in two important areas, and they're outlined in detail in the program books, but I want to just mention them a bit. We've worked and continue to work with the Education Committee of the Black Leadership Roundtable to eliminate the academic achievement gap between white children and African American children. And we are in the forefront of the efforts to strengthen the voluntary transfer program in the suburban school districts. JUJ has also worked in partnership with others in our efforts to improve the lives of healthcare workers and the people they take care of. It is our belief that the elderly in our nursing homes and the patients in our hospitals will never be well taken care of unless and until we treat the people who take care of them fairly. One of our efforts in that area was to work and to improve working conditions and living conditions in our own Jewish Center for the Aged. JUJ is a membership organization, and we hope you'll either join or renew your membership tonight. JUJ needs your membership dollars and your contributions to carry on its important work. There's no admission fee tonight, but we hope you will consider joining in honor of Sister Ebo and Rabbi Lipnick. Information about joining and contributing are in the program book and at our information table in the reception area. We'll appreciate anything you can contribute. As we spend this evening together, let us breathe deeply and inhale into our souls the spirit of Reverend King and Rabbi Heschel, and let us celebrate the efforts of Sister Ebo and Rabbi Lipnick. Let us be energized for the fights that need to be fought and in partnership today and tomorrow as well. For just a moment, I want to mention two of those important battles and struggles on behalf of disadvantaged people that need our partnership and our continuing work today. First, may we develop ways of working together effectively to help the thousands of children and adults and elderly who are literally left in the cold wind by the calamitous and brutal reductions in Medicaid. Second, we all know that in the past, public construction projects have illegally and immorally left minorities and women in the cold and have unlawfully and immorally excluded them from the opportunity that employment on such projects should provide. Community forces have recently begun organizing to demonstrate our strength and requiring that the current and future spate of public construction jobs not all go to white men and not repeat the unacceptable failures of the past, but rather require that real opportunity be provided. May we work in partnership on these and other issues today and tomorrow, just as Dr. King, Rabbi Heschel, Sister Ebo, and Rabbi Lipnick have worked together to combat injustice and ensure fair opportunity for all. Thank you.
While JUJ is the primary organizer of our celebration this evening, there are other important co-sponsors. The first is the Missouri Historical Society, led by its president, Dr. Robert Archibald, who was here with us as we began our program this evening, but I know he has two other appointments he has to be with. I don't see him in his seat there now, but we are appreciative of his having been here. He is a man who truly appreciates and celebrates the diversity of our community, and he has put that philosophy into practice with the many new programs and initiatives he has set in motion. We appreciate the assistance we have received from him and the museum staff, especially our primary point person, Laura West-Hennon, and the auditorium manager, Mr. Daniel Butler. Others on the museum staff have provided important input and inspiration in the planning of tonight's event, including Tammy Goldman, Don Johnson, and Maurice Falls, and of course we have our technical staff sitting up in our booth. Gentlemen, will you please stand and let us thank you? Otherwise, none of you would hear us or see us tonight. Another co-sponsor is Patty Long Catering. We extend special thanks to Joan Long for her personal support of this event and the museum-based staff that we are working with, which have included Katie Fitzgerald and John Womack. Are any of the Patty Long staff in the room? I know they have a surprise party upstairs, so when we're in the reception, if you could make a point of thanking the support staff in the reception, the serving staff, we would of course appreciate that, but let's give them all, for the record, a round of applause.
The SSM health system was founded by Sister Ebo's order, and Sister Ebo began her career at St. Mary's Infirmary here in St. Louis as a nurse, and went on to run hospitals for them around the country. Representing Sister Mary Jane Ryan, who is the president and CEO of the SSM health system, is Mr. Steve Barney, who is Senior Vice President of Human Resources, who has known Sister Ebo for over 30 years, since they worked together in Wisconsin and in Mississippi. I threw that in, but that's not here. Ms. Yvonne Tisdale, Vice President of Human Resources. While SSM has received the 2002 Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award and the 2005 Workplace Diversity Award from the World of Difference Institute and the Anti-Defamation League, they will now receive appreciation from us as we ask them all to stand. All those from SSM Health System, please stand. Thank you. We also greatly appreciate Congregation B'nai Amuna. It is the congregation where Rabbi Lipnick has been affiliated with for 55 years, including 31 years as a spiritual leader. In fact, it was Celeste Weisselman, a member of the congregation, and the receptionist at the Jewish Community Service, Coppola, did I do that right? Coppola building, that originally connected Rabbi Lipnick to Philip, which resulted in his being at the Black History Museum, where his reunion with Sister Ebo occurred. Celeste, will you please wave your hand wherever you are? Thank you. We know that Marcia Williams, their immediate past president, is here, as she was on our planning committee, and that there are a number of other congregants here tonight. So would you please stand if you're from B'nai Amuna.
B'nai Amuna. B'nai Amuna.
Thank you. My understanding is that the new rabbi, Rabbi Rose, is here. Would you please stand and let us see you? Thank you. We hope that you will be there for 55 years.
And the last but not least of our co-sponsors is IMS Information Management Solutions. Richard Gavitin designed and produced the outstanding program book that you all have in your hands. We really believe that it stands alone as an educational resource, as you will find as you get the chance to read through it, which will now become a part of the official archives of the Missouri Historical Society. Richard, please stand and accept our thanks.